Okay, folks. So I find this story about these Israeli hostage posters getting torn down all over the place kind of curious. Well, I wouldn't say all over the place, but it's just kind of interesting to see more of that news story trending and getting recommended more. NYU students seen tearing down posters of missing Israelis. Someone, I guess, was assaulted by one of the people tearing down the posters. Posters of missing Israeli children torn down by Palestine supporters in London, even. And, clashes on Ivy League campuses, tensions flare following Hamas terrorist attack in Israel. It's it's one of those stories that when I start seeing it trending and I start seeing the news reporters and the headlines saying the same exact thing and repeating the same exact thing, it raises a little bit of a red flag for me. And I just think it's kind of curious. Kidnapped posters calling attention to Israeli hostages keep getting torn down. A grassroots campaign in New York City to raise awareness of the 200 hostages Hamas captured in its October 7 attack on Israel has sparked tensions. And look at it. I mean, you can see they're like lying down the walls here. It says, the hundreds of flyers lining the walls of the Union Square subway station bore the faces of Israeli hostages with the word kidnapped in bold letters above the photo and a plea to bring them home below. Entire Israel family, one of the pages said. 80-year-old Israeli grandfather, read another. Others showed the faces of teenagers, a young couple, or migrant workers, all missing and believed to be held by Hamas in Gaza. But some of the posters were also hard to make out. Within minutes or hours of going up, many of them had been partially ripped off the subway station's walls. Obscuring the victims' faces or details about their lives, while others were defaced with marker or surrounded by messages such as Free Palestine. Others were removed because of city regulations. I think that's kind of curious. It goes on to say that this week, the walls of New York City's subway stations, campus buildings, and other public spaces along with those of other cities across the globe, have been plastered with the posters. A grassroots campaign to raise awareness of the roughly 200 hostages Hamas captured in its October 7 attack on Israel. The fast spreading initiative has given an outlet to supporters of Israel abroad who feel frustrated by their inability to aid the war effort and isolated by their distance from the fighting. But the posters have also become one more front in the battle for public opinion on the war, with opponents of Israel tearing down the posters, berating the activists, and launching a counter campaign highlighting Palestinian losses. We wanted to put the message out there. We wanted the world to know, said one of the creators of the Kidnapped from Israel project, an Israel street artist who goes by the nom de plume Didi Band-Aid. Every place they will tear them down, we will put up many, many more. This looks like propaganda. This doesn't look like something that a grassroots would put out stuff like this. I mean, this is like even the shiny fancy paper even. And it's like everywhere there was like they printed over 2,000 posters, it says. I just propaganda being just pushed right out there everywhere so quickly. You know what I mean? And what if these people are like removing this stuff because some of these might possibly be deep fakes? I hate to be the one to really say it, but that's my opinion anyway. I think that it's possible that some of these, you know, could very well deep fake. Does anyone know? Would anyone really even know? You know what I mean? I'm just when I see these stories like this trending and it's being repeated by all the parrots and they're all saying pretty much the same thing, I just have to question it. Are they carrying it down because it's really like propaganda? I mean, it's just creating another dividing line, truly, but it I don't know. I mean, how many times have you been to a big city or been in your downtown where you're at and seen posters put up of people that are kidnapped, regular American citizens that are kidnapped, much less people from other countries that are kidnapped? I understand these, the circumstances around the narrative are pretty horrific to think about. It really is. But, how many times have you seen anyone put up posters and stuff for people who have gone missing right here in our own country like this? It just seems like it's kind of fishy to me. I don't know. That's just my opinion on it. I just think that it's kind of fishy.